Hello, everybody. Welcome. We'll get started here shortly. So if you have any questions or you are watching on YouTube later, yeah, feel free to just fast forward a couple minutes, maybe 3 to 4 minutes, while we wait for people to pile in. It's another happy Monday. Today is February 10th of the year 2025. So, like I said, we'll kind of get started here in just a few moments. We got a lot of people joining in the customer section. So thank you guys all for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, QA, however it works these days. We have some bright minds on this side of the line that can help get you the answers you need, almost certainly. And if not, we will find them for you. But again, thank you for coming to the webinar. So we'll get started here in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. If you have a question, you have a topic, you have any of that stuff, just let us know. And we will try to be helpful in that direction. Nothing's come up yet, but again, we'll kind of just share some of the stuff. We have been cranking out videos on that decision support channel. So again, you might want to scan the QR code. If you can't find it that way, if you type in decisions training on YouTube, it's usually the fastest way to find it. I'll show that here in a second. The middle kind of QR code is our solutions marketplace. We either have just launched a new solution/accelerator, or we are going to launch it here shortly. I have not looked to see if it has gone live yet. I can tell you though, 9.7 has gone live. So we have a new version, a new iterative version of decisions has gone live on our site with a lot of great new features, which if no one has any questions, I'll show them off. We also have the DocBot AI, which is available as the new option for support chat through all versions of Decision. So now in any version of Decisions, if you click what used to be the product chat, it is now a link to our kind of documentation scraping chat bot. But again, we have a lot of people on the kind of, what we might call the customer side of the line, the learner side of the line, however you want to think about it. So if you have a question, again, feel free to put it in the chat or the QA. I still don't have anything popped up yet. We'll kind of take them first come, first serve. We are at our 12:03, so I'm just going to kind of start talking. But again, I would love to be interrupted because right now I am just doing improv and I am not that great at improv. So one thing I will show, we got a question. Let's do it. A lot of talk. Oh.
I was just actually typing in my question. So this is actually regarding, so I have actually configured like OKTA for communicating with my Azure based APIs. Now in one of my APIs, I need actually to pass in a custom token, not the one generated from decisions. So right now the way we have done it is like, we have configured client credentials token, and we are actually using that token using that Okta ID. But in one particular API, I don't want to use that. I want to use a user-based token that I'm somehow passing into my workflow, but I'm not finding any way to, pass that as an Okta ID rather than the generated Okta ID from the decisions itself. Is there a way? Is there a way by which I can, explicitly specify my string token? Let's say I have one JWT token.
Greg, do you have any insight on that? I know that's kind of a big ask. I think we're trying to get a single auth token. And how are you implementing? Let me think. How could you override that? So you just have a system-wide integration set up with Okta?
Yeah, so that is working fine, perfectly fine.
Yep.
However, there is one of my APIs that kind of doesn't work with the system to system token. It needs a particular user based data, right? So that particular thing I'm passing in as an input to my decisions workflow. I'm getting it there. I'm able to even decode that JWT token. Everything is fine. But for calling that API, I am not able to use that token which I like provided as an input. Because once I
Okay.
do that, it says that, that Okta ID was not found.
Would it be an additional method, probably, Greg? I mean, I'm just speculating. I'd have to.
So let's see here. Let me get a little bit more information. So you're trying to connect with an external API service and you're bringing in the token from Okta, is what you're saying?
Let's say, so ultimately, let me give you some more context to it. So I have a UI. right?
Okay.
From UI, I'm actually calling the decisions, let's say, right?
Okay.
So for regular scenarios, and then decisions calls some my Azure based APIs, right? So for all the APIs, decisions itself is actually creating a client credential token and use that token for communicating with those APIs. Everything is fine. Let's say there is API 2. Now that API 2 doesn't work with the client credential token. It needs a user flow token, right? I have the token because ultimately from UI only I'm calling decision. So I'm passing that in my workflow as an input. I'm able to
Mm-hmm.
get it. I'm able to decode it. I'm able to get the claims. I'm able to do everything with it. But to call the third party API that I'm trying to call with my token that I passed in, there is no way I could find that, I could use the token directly to call that third party API unless I explicitly, configure it from here, like from decisions.
Right, right. Adding the REST service itself, not being able to call it from the token that was created.
So I did create a REST service here, and that token, I actually added that curly brace so that I can provide that token from there. But again, when I do that, it is again like expecting it to be the Okta token ID and not really, the plain text JWT token.
Interesting.
Could it be like I said, you guys certainly have a better grasp of this than I, but could it just be an additional method? You have your REST service and you have two methods on the inside. One is geared towards the client auth and one's geared towards the user auth.
Even if you provide me that thing, just to add to your point, let's say I could actually add a brand new REST service integration that only works with the user provided token. That will also work for me. But how do I do that? I didn't find any solution or any option for that either.
Mm. Just, I also want to make sure I understand. Are you trying to keep the user's like login information from, is that why Okta's involved here? Are you trying to keep like the same session of them logged in to call this API?
So see, the thing is, my third party APIs, which are my APIs only, right?
Mm-hmm.
That like populates the information based on the logged in user. Some of these APIs, not all of them, but one that is in question right
Oh,
now. So for that, I need to know who is requesting it. How do I know? Because server to server, that will never work.
I see. So you're not basing it on like any sort of US, not US, sorry, decisions session ID, but rather
Yeah,
based
that's
upon the
true.
user's
Correct.
login. I
For this one
see.
particular requirement, I need that.
I see. Hmm. I get what you're saying now.
Mhm.
And this
I
is, might be, I don't mind brainstorming it for a bit just because we don't have any other questions. But I can tell you, this sounds like it's going to be something we're going to need more than a couple minutes of brain space at. So your path of least resistance is, if you haven't already, is to like email support@decisions.com or open up a support ticket through every portal you
Mhm.
have. And that'll give them time to do the research and mess around with these sandboxes and come up with a better answer, just because it's going to be hard for, I don't mind brainstorming it for a little bit, but I do just want to set that understanding that you
No,
might be
I
better off.
understand that the
Yeah.
only reason why I actually joined here before actually, initiating a report, sorry, the request ticket is I maybe, who knows, like I may not have
Yeah.
been knowing something which may already be there. So,
Yeah.
uh,
And there's a very real possibility that we can find the answer or that somebody
yeah.
might have it, but it's just, I just want to put that prerequisite on there.
The
Go ahead, Greg.
first thing, no, no,
Yeah.
you're good. Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind with that is potentially having a flow that would create a unique session ID for that user, just so you can authenticate with that and still have the user information in the flow. But that may not be the only way to do that. And I,
No, but see, the thing is, I already have the user information in the flow, even with the session ID, because I'm passing in that session ID as an additional header. And I'm able to get that header value within decisions. I'm
Mhm.
able to even get the token itself, string token, like JWT token. But
Right.
what do I do with that token? Like, let's say there is one third party API that I need to call from decisions, and I have that string token that I can pass in. But the way decisions works is decisions requires Okta token ID, not the JWT token.
Oh, okay. Uh,
Right.
So
so
is there a way by which I can create the like integration, for example, the Azure integration or whatever,
Right.
where I can say that this is what my token is. Decisions doesn't need to generate a token for me. This is what my token is. Just, use this token to call this API. Because if you go to that integration part, I'll show you what I mean is there we have an option called Okta or something. If you scroll down a bit, yeah, look at this. So no authentication, use basic. So when we use OAuth, it actually requires me to provide the Okta token ID.
Right.
So what do I do if I want to provide the plain text token as a like actual token?
Instead of hmm,
There is
I'm
one thing that I could see there. Sorry to interrupt again. So if you click on use OAuth, so there is one thing called use static OAuth token. But then I will have to provide the token here, which I don't want to. I want to do it from my code, from my workflow.
right, because you want it to be user specific. You're not trying
Yes.
to have that. Yeah, I get that. It's not going to work at all. Um, let's see here. Because the problem is that JWT is passed into the request body, not into the
Can I use custom tag in auth header? Maybe I didn't try that. I should have
use
actually
custom
tried.
tagging off. Drop down advanced settings real quick. There should be. Is there not in here? Is
This is
that
advanced only.
show advanced a little bit higher? I don't know. I don't think you could pass it into the header, right?
I am already passing that thing like, as a header to
Right.
decisions workflow. So maybe I'll try that.
I mean, you could do it from the flow step variable, but even then, it's you're not going to get the plain text like you said. You're only going to get the yeah, this might be something where support's going to have to look into your environment and give you a better recommendation here. Because I get what you're saying. It should be possible to be able to get that plain text information from the token, pass it into a header, and authenticate. Like I get what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I'm able to get it done halfway. I'm able to like, read it from header,
Mm-hmm.
parse it, get the claims, process the claims. But the only issue is now I'm not able to use that JWT token for calling the API, the third party API. That's where, the disconnect is.
Right, right. Because you can authenticate with that other one, but that doesn't.
Yeah, true. That doesn't work in my case.
Right. Yeah, I think the best option is going to be supportdecisions.com
Okay.
just to see your particular layout because they may be able to see something in your process and recommend
Hmm.
another way around that in order to
Sure.
get the functionality you're looking for.
Okay. No problems. That works.
Hmm. No, I appreciate you bringing up the question though. It's a really good question and I'll look into that as well because I want to figure that out.
Okay. Thank you for considering this.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, absolutely. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, thanks for
Okay.
joining. Yeah. We had another one from Miguel. Welcome back, Miguel. Good to see from you, hear from you. So the questions Miguel had, I'll unmute you as well. I think yes is the answer to almost all of these as I'm reading them. And it's going to depend on how you have that first Word file kind of set up. So with let's go. So in order for everyone, we got like maybe 3 to 5 questions here. Depends on how you count them. How can you map information from a form to a Word file? You're gonna have a number of options on that. Um, you'll have a number of options on that. We do that in one of these projects, Sprint I9 generation. I feel like you might have done something like that. And I have you unmuted, by the
No,
way, if you want to interrupt me.
yeah,
Hello.
Rob, in i9 we mapped data into a PDF form.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to put it because I want to use rich text. So I
Okay.
want to be able to use rich text with bold and all these things into Word, which eventually then I'll convert to a PDF. Because in a PDF I cannot use rich text, I cannot use colors, embed whatever the user put into the box. I cannot just give it like that. I have to. So so that's why and when I was looking at the loan application, if I was to take those panels, that information that the user puts in there, and I had a Word template that kind of matched that, I would want to, let's say, embed those things in there. I,
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of looking at. That's what I'm looking at. What I want to build will be something like that.
Yeah,
And
let's kind of build
I
your
just wanted
framework.
to know, like, I think I asked this question either in a stand-up meeting or, but we had less time there, so I figured this might be the right
Yeah,
forum
this
for
is a
it.
better option for you.
Yeah.
See, man. All right, so let's create a new one. Rich text form. All right.
So ideally in Word, I would have a table,
Okay.
and in that table, I would have a like a heading for this thing, either a heading above it or to the side, where it might say description, and then I'm gonna fill in one of the cells of that table, which is gonna be occupied pretty much most of the width of the page there, and then embed this information in there, and then I might have other cells with information.
Yeah, let's look here.
Yeah, and yeah.
I'm listening. You're more than welcome to, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is it doesn't have to be, let's say, if we're not able to, let's say, solve it today, that's okay. But I would see if there's a day that we can talk more about this. And maybe this is the right forum, in one of these days where.
I'm seeing if I can download like a generic.
Yeah. Because I did look at the documentation on these things, and for example, one thing I didn't understand is the one that says replace bookmark with text. I don't know when you say when they mean word bookmark, what exactly are they referring to, for example? And I couldn't really find much of that. Too many details in the documentation with an example.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for a Word doc that has some form fields to them. Oh, it's not I think about it, it's not in I9. I9's PDF.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah, it's in financial lending. We do it. Let's figure out the name of that
Oh, okay.
document.
Do we do that? Okay, yeah. I haven't gone through, I've only gone through the walkthrough of the financial lending.
Yeah, in lending, it's not perfect. I got to find it. I was just like, I was looking through my docs. I'm like, wait a minute, all these are I9. It's in one of these trigger flows towards the end. We essentially, wrong trigger. So page configuration, it's one of these last ones. We do something similar. Let's see how it works. Nope, it's the one previous to this. Replace text in Word document, personal loan agreement. Okay, replace text in Word document. That's what I have. The name of the file is personal loan agreement. Nice. Here, I found it. All right, I like that. Let's see here. DocX comes with those. Book token. Why is it not? Oh, that's a PDF for some reason. Wrong file. Oh, here's one. Here's a docx. Here's a Word doc. Yep, 150 kilobytes. Okay. So as I load that, here are the bookmarks. So that's the bookmark is the form fields.
Oh, okay, see. Okay.
So like we'd have to like if I wanted to like figure out what is what, I could find a tool online Word bookmark define or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, so you would bookmark it in some capacity. You'd add names to it. Those would then show up as inputs into this thing. Let me see if I can just jam some rich text into all of this and see if it works. And again, if anyone else has questions, I think the chat's still sitting where it was, but we'll just kind of keep building here. So this is going to output file data. That's that step. So I'm going to load from file data to get it turned it into file reference. I'm then going to, let's just do it, form to download it. I guess we could do an end form, right? Or I'll just do a form just for simplicity here. Create new form, download form, file download, just saw it. All right, in downloaded file, make this a button. It's big, put up another button down here so we can move on with our lives when we're done. All right, so again, kind of ugly here. This is going to take this output called output document file, and then this is going to take in load from file data one output. All right. So now we see do some mapping here. Let's just do a couple of these as rich text and see what they look like when we're done. I might even be able to do it faster over here. It's gonna be the ugliest document you've ever seen, but we're just testing functionality here. All right, nice and ugly. All right, so let's see what we're working with here.
Yeah, then if you can make something bold, and maybe I put a couple
Yeah,
of bullets
sure.
and then add maybe I don't know. If you can we could maybe add just one image just to see what happens. Like, I just that was
Let's
kind of like
yeah, let's start one here at a time. Let's
yeah,
let's do
sure.
a couple. Let's do
We can do
a
like
couple
that.
things and then try and break it more. We
Yeah,
get
yeah,
further into it.
sure. Like just like that, and then eventually add in it. Yeah, that would be cool.
All right, what kind of errors are we getting here? So it did not load those there. On my
Oh,
initial
it
download,
didn't.
it did not load them, no. All right, so let's see here. Let's look in the debugger and see what kind of action we're getting here. Interesting. Try another one here. I don't think this is actually going to work, but
You're using replace text in Word document, right?
yep.
I'm looking at the documentation of that one. I don't know what this is, but there's a replace tokens. I don't know what that does. Like, and there's like a setting that says replace token with HTML document. I don't know. With HTML text, sorry. But the documentation is kind of silent about that, so I don't know.
Yeah, so that at least got us some text in there. This is a fairly odd here. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just got to think about it. Let's do some exploration here and see if anything comes up. And again, if anyone's got any questions or any insight, feel free to add them on in there while we're being
What is the
exploratory.
difference between a bookmark and a token? Or it's
I
just
think
like,
that's all Word stuff. Microsoft
okay, okay.
Word token. So a token in Microsoft Word, you can insert multiple types of tokens, such as variables, repeating content. So yeah, it looks like this might be in the world of what you want. If you want images, you'd give it a token variable, say Microsoft Word token versus bookmark or something. I don't know.
Okay, so so if that is a Word thing, then yeah,
Yeah.
don't worry. I will look at that and then see how I'll do my own tests on how to work with that. It's okay. I don't want to like, if you have
Well,
other questions, we
no,
can.
we haven't had any yet, which is why I don't mind working on it.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, if someone pops up with one, I'll gladly hop on over and we can maybe talk a little more. But for now, let's see if we can just figure out where these. Oh, MS Word. How did I not see that? Okay, so here's all my Word stuff.
So the place where I found was in the replace text in a Word document.
Yeah.
That was the one step that I found that has. Then you can where it says replace mode at the top, you can say bookmark or token, and then you maybe I think that's what I want. I want to maybe replace the token. I guess I need to learn a little bit more about the Word and set up. Then how do I set up my my files? You know. So
I just want to make sure that my Word document thing is working before I spend all this time just to realize that something was broken about that thing. Oh, dang it. Went too fast. All right, boom. Doesn't matter. Okay, so my Word document's broken. So that's part of it. That's part of the problem. Because that Word document I just downloaded, it should work. And it's not. So that maybe it's just this document could be broken. Let me see if I have another one here. Again, I tried to find like a blank template here
oh, okay, sure.
on Google, but the one that I found wasn't working. So let's try this one, smaller file size. Okay, so here now we have agreement date borrower. Okay, so this is looking more right. Let's do the same thing here. Constant. Well, here's actually what we're gonna do. We're gonna add just another text box here real quick, just to do a test to make sure it works. Test text box, Shift Enter, output that. Now that I've got that variable, I'm not gonna have to do so much mapping. I can ignore the input for this. I can go to this. I can do this input mapping and just do all of that kind of spam. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, that Word doc, good thing I tested it, huh? Otherwise, we'd have spent all day troubleshooting something that would never work. Okay, so this one is getting all of that text. Nice, 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 nice.
Oh, okay, I see.
All
Okay.
right, so now that we have that, now we know that at least my PDF, I was using a bad PDF earlier because again, I just don't have a lot of PDF.
Yeah, but like
Documents.
Word file. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of Word documents just on hand right now. So let's try swapping some of these now and see what we're working with in rich text world.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, I just want to kind of like I'm doing like a kind of core base
Sure.
troubleshooting kind of concept, just um known good troubleshooting. You just put elements in until we know one works and then swap something out until we know something works and swap one out until we know it works. All right, debug, start debugging. Let's just see if we can get text in there.
Yeah.
Who cares? Okay, nope. Let's just see. I know that's not perfect. We're just, like I said, troubleshooting it one step at a time here. Okay, so here we are getting, that text, but it's formatted oddly. So let's see how we can make some revisions there. All right.
Oh, I think there was a setting. Okay, yeah,
No,
maybe.
I'm listening. I'll take anything. You think there's a setting in here?
Yeah, like there was in the properties it says, oh no, that's for the tokens. It says replace token with HTML text. For the bookmark, it doesn't say that. You're using bookmarks right now, so I guess what you're doing there is fine.
I
You're
have a
saying,
theory.
Let's hear it.
In one of those inputs, can you set it instead of flow data to the merge HTML?
Yeah, I tried that earlier and then just drag this in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that earlier on the blank one. That's what I was about to try. Thank you for that, though. I do appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem.
That's all. I was kind of trying to do a cheeky. I was wondering if I could do a cheeky way over here, so I don't have to do so many clicks.
That's valid.
I was like, I wonder if I could just set this to HTML and drag it if it'll know what I'm talking about. All right, I'm done after this one, though. All right, now let's test some bold stuff. Well, let's just test the text first. Test one step at a time. And again, anybody else got any questions? Feel free. I'm enjoying troubleshooting here, but because I'm learning too. I can just disable that text box. All right, see what we're working with here.
huh, it gave you all the HTML thing.
Yeah, it gave us way too much, didn't it?
Yeah, I actually, I guess I need to, and when I look at the documentation, there's this, for the tokens, there's this thing saying replace token with HTML text. So maybe that is the thing. I just don't know how to use the tokens and how to create the tokens and everything. So you'll need to get the Word document file will have to have those tokens and
This is one of those tech that gives you a variable when you put words in there. It'll just give you a variable. How does this work? Yes. Okay. So it gives you variables based on curly brackets. Huh. But how does it know? Oh, so in the Word document somewhere you get tokens. Let's test it.
yeah,
How do I
exactly. Like yeah,
how do I
I
get
don't
my
know how to like.
all right. Well, we're learning together here. All right, so this is my one that I know works right here. Enable editing. Okay, so how do I get, now that I have that, how do I get, all right, how do I get the tokens here? And this might be something I take off Microsoft Word token. Let's see if we can get it really quick here. So it's a curly bracket. I know that. We know that. Curly brackets.
So I don't know, like the fields are the ones that like become tokens or like
Uh, that is a good question. Let me just do a couple more moments of research, and if not, we might just break out and I'll get back to you just because how do I find tokens? How to find tokens in MS Word. Okay, we already looked at that one. Press Alt F9. Am I really about to? Okay, so that's not helping me at all.
Is messing with the borrower's signature.
Yeah, I did see that. It gave me some weird URL. Oh well, I'll mess with it for just another millisecond, and if not, I might have to get back to you. It makes sense that it would either be on insert or on this somewhere, right? In
Actually,
insert
like,
fields.
so I was looking at it, it seems like it's when you create these fields using the developer bar. You don't have the developer bar because you need to set that up separately. And when I was looking at it, then when you make a title for it, then you make a token. I don't know, I'll experiment with it because actually one of the forms that I had created for something in the past already used those kind of fields. Like the ones that you use in the developer, you need to activate the developer by going to, I think, options, and then I think in add-ins, in add in add-ins you need to, oh, there you go to the right, go to the other box, and then below you have developer. That you need to activate that. When you have that active, then the tab will appear for you. All you need is to activate what you just did there, and then you say okay. Now you'll have the new tab there. And then in design mode, you can drag and drop like a text. You can, like the ones that are the top, like a text or rich text, and you can map those.
Yeah, I just want to find out, see if it gives us a list of tokens somewhere.
Yeah, and so those are like the things, and but I only saw this called a token somewhere else, not in the not within Microsoft Word. I don't know what I call it. I just saw other pages that called it token. So
Yeah, I did see that one on that first link that I kept ignoring because like this doesn't help us.
yeah,
It
that
did
was
say
from
something.
Salesforce. Actually, that was the same hit I got.
Yeah.
But so
So
but
I get the concept of curly braces. This is no different to me than like a JSON type thing.
yeah, and actually
Um,
that's what they were explaining. But
so yeah, even here you would give it a rich. I think this is your answer right here. You'd give it a rich text token. So because like what I think ends up happening, and maybe again I'm being very presumptuous here,
yeah,
but you have decisions and you
exactly.
have word.
Yeah, and it needs to know which type of token it is, so then they map, right? And
Yeah,
then
correct. It's a matter of making sure that this can receive what is being sent out. Rich text can be received here. Like we can send it out with all that formatting attached via HTML, but if this is not expecting to convert that
exactly,
HTML back to text, it's always going to look ugly like it did when we first
because
drew it
it's just
up.
gonna take all the text,
Yes.
everything, and
So
it's
I
not
think
gonna
that,
like make it into.
I think this is the answer for it.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
You
I'm
when you
gonna
make
look
when you
into that.
make
I'm
the
gonna
Word doc.
bookmark that. Yeah,
Yeah, and again, like what I would recommend is just make a Word document that has like two, like kind of what I did. Just make a Word document that has two of these, like
exactly. Yeah,
rich text token names, and just leave them blank, and then just jam material in until it works.
yeah. So I
Not jam it in,
tried.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna put that in my to-do list for sure. Yeah,
But like I said, and also it's gonna be one of those things like just like we advised earlier. Like we do have a support team that can maybe help do some research too. I don't mind doing some research here today and maybe emailing you back if it comes to me. Maybe make something quick because I'm constantly on the search for
Well,
little.
no, like it's, how can I say, like right now my priority is to continue with the last two applications that I have to do, which
Hmm.
are the lending.
Yep.
And when I was doing the lending, I immediately was thinking about, sorry, I just went through the walkthrough video of the financial loan application.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this starts to look like what I want, because
Yeah.
the screens started to look like how I would want the input. Although I would map that form with those panels that we had in the lending. I've only seen the first video, so haven't watched the rest, which I need to do.
Yeah.
It just looked
In
like this other application that I want to build, and because there was nobody asking questions here, that I came to
oh,
just, let's say,
yeah, I
build it.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Then
I
I
want
said,
to feel.
okay, maybe how about this? Because it starts to look like that. So that's
Oh, I'm on the
that's
wrong sprint. Yeah.
yeah.
In financial lending, it does that word convert, like it converts flow data into a Word document in the configuration folder. This one's a really big project.
Yeah,
But like
I
I
saw
said, in
that.
this,
Yeah.
you get a ton of data, gets approved, documents get absorbed, all that stuff. And then at the end, we do populate a PDF. Um,
From a Word document, you created
yeah,
Word and then you convert to PDF. So
yeah,
actually, this
that's
is good because I think through
uh,
this one, I'm going to start to through this one, I'm going to start to understand this like in a little bit more basic way, and then I can move to this other one. That this other question that I asked will be, let's say, like an add-on to that. This will be like the basics what you're showing me, and then eventually I'll say, okay, the one I want to build is maybe just a little bit different. But yeah.
yeah. On this build out, the step used is actually insert text at bookmarks rather than the replace.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah, like we and yeah, and then it will help me understand. I have to go back to understand what like what's the difference between a bookmark in Word and a token and those things, and when can you
Yeah,
because yeah, like you said, it's there's the decisions part and then there's the word part that we need to understand. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, no problem. Insert text at bookmarks. Yeah, might have to just find some more stuff for it. And really, if you are planning on eventually converting it to a PDF, you might be able to just bypass that, make it a PDF, and then do PDF form
Well,
fields.
because it will PDF will not take the rich text.
Oh, okay.
And what I want is I want to get the rich text. And the other thing that I couldn't that I noticed was that in for example, when we were doing the I-9, there were some issues when the PDF had this drop down field. The state name had to have this quote. Otherwise, it was not mapping properly. Like if you didn't put the quotes, because I know
Interesting.
when I enter the data into the debugger without the quotes, and I will choose, let's say, the first state. I don't remember what's the first one, if it's Alabama or or Alaska is probably the first one. It will not map to that one. It will give me the output will come out with another one, like maybe the next one down. It was kind of weird because it will take. It was almost like the way that PDF from the government was made, because the first row was blank. It will just kind of move to the next one or something. You put
Yeah,
it like that. So then that's why I realized that that's why the CSV file had those double quotes around the state. And when you map it like that, then it shows up, but then the quotes appear there, which I was okay, fine. I'll just keep the quotes, but so I could tell that it wasn't. Oh, can you put this one in the chat?
this is using Power Automate. I was just seeing if it had. Yeah, I gladly will. But this is probably not related. I just was seeing if it gave me. I'm looking. I'm on the hunt for clues right now. I feel like.
No,
Um,
thanks.
I just was trying to find. I want to find like an example PDF that just has a rich text box token or a rich text token on it, so I can just download. So I don't have to make something.
Uh-huh.
Because here's what we'll do. Let's see. If I can do this in like 60 seconds, I'll do it. Data sheet view or design view.
Yeah, design view is the one that you had there in the developer.
Because
In the
in design view. All right, now what do we have to say here? Open the table in design view. Then in the field name column, type a name. In the data column, select long text. That doesn't even.
so that's if you have a table, I guess.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah,
I feel like this is not very.
yeah, like
Uh-uh. Yeah, I think we'll have to get back to you on it because this is not ringing out to me right now. And it might be one of those things too,
Yeah.
I'm big on this, but uh rather than looking for articles, there's probably somebody on YouTube that has done it.
Yeah.
Add rich text token to Word. You know what I'm saying? Ad giving them free advertisement right now. Okay.
Yeah, actually, so those are like the content controls that I already have those. Well, not on all of them. I have some content controls in my
Yeah, see, that's not
one of
coming
my
up for me
documents.
though. Oh, rich
Yeah, yeah.
text control, it's a double A. Okay.
It's those like those little things that you have on the left. You just drag it like that one. Yeah, there you go. So that's and then you can make it bigger or
Did I
whatever,
put
and then
something in brackets here? See, that's what I'm saying. We should have just gone to YouTube straight away.
yeah, yeah, and then
Company name.
yeah. So that's the part that they say like you have to put a title to it. So then it like I think you go into properties of the control. There you go. Yeah, and then you give that. Yeah, that's for people not to delete the control.
Use a style to format text type.
Oh, that's yeah, you don't want that because then like it will like change your style. Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah. So then when you give the title, it gives you actually that's something I didn't use last time when I was doing that thing. So then you have to use tokens in that step. You have to use the token.
Lord knows where to download that too. Okay, Lord.
So the top, I think you have to use token. Like go to the top. Yeah, use that, and then you have your only. Oh, okay. I don't know. Huh, I don't know how that will
Start
work.
of token and end of token. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is just gonna have to be something we frame out later, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay.
What did I say? I call it company space name.
No, I think you called it just company. I think that's you called it just company. Hmm. I don't know the other
Yeah,
part.
we'll have to mess with it.
Yeah,
I'll get rid of this altogether. We'll try one more time here. Start of token and end of token.
hmm.
It just doesn't see that thing. Like I'd have to figure out what there's no way this is actually gonna work, but
Hmm.
oh well. Yeah, like I said, Miguel, I'll continue to play with this here in the coming
Sure,
30 minutes or so, and then see if not, if not, just like I said, I would just kind of refresh and just do something like that known good troubleshooting. Just make a single doc that has one, rich text token, and then see if you can find a way to get it to absorb into decisions. And then if you can get it as a constant, then you know the workflow, and it's just applying it to your bigger document.
sure. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to like. I'll see like how I'll work on that.
cool. Thank
Yeah,
you, and thanks for the good question. Thanks for showing up.
yeah,
Um,
thank you.
Yeah, unless somebody else has a question, we did 50 minutes here, and we can kind of just I can get on and start looking at the two kind of stuff and follow up with Umar and Miguel. Unless anyone's got any other questions, which I'll gladly take. I'd love to get one basket made today, but sometimes it's just about assists, I guess. So if I can be helpful, like I said, let me know in the chat in the next few moments, and if not, we'll probably end it here just a couple moments early, so I can get on those things for those folks that did have those questions and get them an answer. All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for joining. We will see you guys back at it tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.